I don't want to be rude in this video, but I also don't want to sugarcoat what I'm saying or talk to you like you're babies, because I know you're not. I know you're not like children. Well, maybe some of you are children, but I know that you're not babies, so I'm gonna just speak normally and I don't know. I don't want to intentionally be rude, but I also don't want to be deliberately really sugary, if that makes sense. So, what is OG fashion? That is what we're here to talk about. Because I've made several videos kind of about how I dress, but without really going into what it is. And depending on when this video goes up, I have started making videos where I essentially dress up people in my clothes. I'm doing OG fashion makeovers. And that's going to be a long series, hopefully. Potentially. You know, there's quite a few people in the works right now and there's more interested. Hopefully it'll be a long series. So I thought the time was good for me to finally make a video about what OG fashion actually is. So let's do that. Let's start with the actual word that I'm saying. OG fashion is, well, OG is a Japanese word. It is literally Japanese for prince. Well, it's literally child king, so prince. So it's prince fashion. And it's a Japanese word because it's a Japanese fashion. OG is the male counterpart to Lolita fashion, which you may have heard of, you might not. We'll get more into that in a second. When I say it's the male counterpart, I don't mean that men wear OG and women wear Lolita. That's not how we roll around here. And I think most of you watching this will already be well aware that that's just not how we roll. What I mean by that is that OG fashion is inspired by historical menswear in the same way that Lolita fashion is inspired by historical women's wear. So OG is inspired by men's clothes, Lolita is inspired by women's clothes, and in that way it is the male counterpart to Lolita fashion. But obviously people of all genders wear both fashions, and I'm not going to argue about that point, okay? Now, if you're watching this and you have never heard of Lolita fashion and you are about to run off into the comments to scream at me about the name of Lolita fashion, hold your horses, take a step back, breathe. I didn't name it. The whole Western community didn't name it. We are so well aware, we know, trust me, we know we've heard it. And there are so many other videos on Lolita fashion, like if you're just now hearing of it and you're interested and you want to know more, there are so many other videos by other YouTubers and there's blog posts by competent bloggers about Lolita fashion in particular. I'm not going to go into that here because that is a resource that is a topic that there is so much resources for. I'll link to some other videos and such in the description of this one. So if you really are completely new to Lolita fashion, don't worry, I've got your back on that too. But this video right now is about OG fashion. In exactly the same way that you get different sub-styles of Lolita, you get the exact same sub-styles of OG. You get Gothic Lolita, you get Gothic OG. You get Classic Lolita, you get Classic OG. You get Sweet Lolita, you get Sweet OG. You get Sailor Lolita, you get Sailor OG. You get Guru Lolita, you get Guru OG, and so on, and so on. You see what I mean? Although this is actually quite a recent thing. For a long time, you've got all these different sub-styles of Lolita, and then there was really only Gothic OG for ages. And I remember, like, maybe, well, I guess it was more than 10 years ago now, wondering, could you do Sweet OG? Was that possible? And then I did some drawings, some really bad drawings that I don't know if I'll show them to you. If I'm feeling brave, I will. And started trying to do different styles of OG. And I guess there was other people doing it too, but it wasn't very popular. But it's gained popularity, obviously, at the same time as Lolita, because Lolita's become huge now. Well, not huge, it's not like mainstream, but it is much, much more popular now than I ever expected it could be. And Ouji has always been right there with it, but like a little bit less. But I think it's become popular at the same rate, which is kind of cool. It's really good. And I'm hoping maybe that by making this video and by making all my Ouji makeover videos that maybe it'll get more popular. Maybe some of you out there will watch this and want to do it too. And then you can be one of us. Anyway, what was I saying? So, okay. One of the big things in Lolita fashion is that there's a certain silhouette or sort of shape that defines the fashion, you know. And there's certain pieces that you have to have, which is like the headwear, the blouse, then your dress or skirt, and so on. Like it's all layered, and no matter what substyle you're wearing, these layers are the same. And the exact same thing is true for Ouji fashion. A proper outfit, or an outfit that would be recognised as Ouji fashion, will typically have some sort of headwear. So a hat, the most typical type of hat would be a top hat. Then, you know, your shirt or blouse, waistcoat, shorts or trousers, then your shoes and such. And everything else from there is accessories. Exactly the same as Lolita. You can almost wear the exact same clothes, just swapping out the skirt for shorts or trousers and back again. You know, if you want to do a more sort of girly cute style. The clothes are also made by a lot of the same brands as Lolita fashion. Pretty much anywhere that makes or sells Lolita clothing will also make or sell Ouji fashion stuff. They just won't always call it that, because a lot of the time it'll just be the pants or shorts or trousers or whatever they happen to be calling the bottom half will be in with skirts, or it will be in its own separate category, and then the top halves and the socks and the hats and everything else is kind of interchangeable. But by and large, anywhere that does Lolita fashion will also do Ouji fashion. It's kind of always right there at the same time and in the same place. I am sorry that this video is kind of mentioning Lolita fashion a lot. If you already know what that is, then I'm sure you're fine with it. But if you really don't, then don't worry. I mean, you're only getting one side of the coin here, but there's so many other resources about Lolita fashion that you can get the whole picture as soon as you're done watching this video. I don't have much else to say because there isn't really much else to it yet, I suppose. There are some other subjects I want to cover, but I will cover them in other videos. I'm going to make a whole other video on where to buy Ouji fashion specifically. I have made videos before about my wardrobe and where I personally shop and where I personally have bought the clothes I am wearing, but I'm going to make a more generic one about Ouji fashion and where to buy it and all of that good stuff. So subscribe if you want to keep an eye out for that video. I'm also going to do a Q&A type video, or an FAQ, a frequently asked questions and also answering your questions video. That'll be a whole separate thing. So if you have questions for me about this, then leave them in a comment and I will answer them in the Q&A video. What else? I don't really know what else to say. So I guess if there's anything really obvious that you think I've missed, leave it in a comment, let me know, and I will cover it in the Q&A video. What do you think, Silver? Have I missed anything? What do you think? She doesn't think anything. Don't forget to subscribe. Support me on Patreon as well. You can pledge just $1 a month, and I use that $1 a month to feed peanut butter to Silver. So if you think she deserves some peanut butter, go to Patreon and give me $1 single. Okay? Thank you. Bye!